Bright Tuty. Every student matters.
Hello dear students, welcome to another lecture, and in today's class we are going to start with another grammar topic, the name of which is finite and non-finite verbs. Now what do we understand by them? Before that, let us understand the most important component of this topic, which is a verb. We all know what is a verb? An action word. So a verb is an action word, a word that tells us what action is taking place. So that is a verb. Now a verb can be divided into two parts. It can either be finite or it can be non-finite verb. Now what are finite verbs? Finite verbs are those verbs that have a subject and they show the tense or the number. So those verbs that have a subject, we know what is the subject which that verb is referring to. A. B. It shows us the tense of that sentence, whether the sentence is spoken in the present, past or the future. And C. It also gives us the information about the number. Number means whether the subject that it is talking about is singular or it is plural. For example, sentence like she lives in Delhi. What is my verb in this sentence? Live. For what subject is this verb used? She. So she is the subject for which this verb is being used. Now what do we know about this sentence? A. We know that this sentence is written in the present tense. And B. We know that my subject is singular. What is my subject? She, which is singular in nature. So my subject is singular and my sentence is written in the present tense. So those verbs that are used to represent a subject, that talk about the tense of that subject as well as gives us an idea about the number of that subject, whether the subject is singular or plural, we use the finite verbs for them. If I give you more examples, they dance happily on the wedding. What is my verb in this sentence? Danced. For whom is this word danced used? My subject, which is they. And what is the tense of this sentence? It is the past tense. So the verb danced has been used to talk about the subject. It has a subject of its own and it is representing the past tense of the sentence as well. If I give you another example, I play very good guitar. Now if I give you this sentence, I play very good guitar. Who is the subject? I am the subject. What is the verb? Play. For whom have I used the verb play? For I, which is the subject. So I know that this sentence is written in the present tense. So I play very good guitar. So this sentence talks about the verb play, which is used for the subject I and uses the present tense to represent it. So finite verbs are those verbs which have a subject of their own, which talk about a tense, plus they also give us an idea about the number of the subject, that is whether the subject is singular in nature or it is plural in nature. Now let us come to the non-finite verbs. Now before I explain you about the non-finite verbs, I am writing a few sentences on the screen. Okay. She likes baking cakes. I like baking cakes. You like baking cakes. They like baking cakes. He likes baking cakes. Now, what did you observe in all these sentences that I've written on the screen for you? The verb baking remains the same. It does not change at all. It does not change whether the subject is singular, like she and he, or the subject is plural, like you or they. So, baking, the verb remains the same irrespective of the tense. If I write the same sentences in past tense, she liked baking cakes. I liked baking cakes. You liked baking cakes. They liked baking cakes. He liked baking cakes, and so on and so forth. So if you just look at these sentences were written in the present tense, while these sentences were written in the past tense. In both these tenses, I used subjects, the singular subjects like he, she, I. I used the plural subjects like you and they. But irrespective of the tense, irrespective of the subject, my verb baking remains the same. It does not change. So, what is it? Baking is a non-finite verb. So, what do we know that now? A non-finite verb does not have a tense. There is no tense that the non-finite verb has. It remains the same, be it in the present or be it in the past. It does not change its form, whatever be the time of action, the number of persons, or the pronoun. a non-finite verb does not have a tense and it will never change its form according to the time of action, means whether the action was done in the past, in the present or in the future, the non-finite verb will remain the same. The number of the person doing the action means the subject, whether the subject is singular or the subject is plural, that also does not affect your non-finite verb. Or the pronoun, whether the pronoun is a first person, second person, third person, that also does not affect your non-finite verb. Now we are going to talk about the different kinds of the non-finite verbs. The first type of the non-finite verb is a gerund. It is known as a gerund. Now what are gerunds? Gerunds are ing. A gerund is an ing verb that functions as a noun. So what is gerund? Gerund is a verb which has an ing at the end of it and it will act as a noun. It will function like a noun. For example, if I say running is good for health. What is my verb over here? Running. It is an ing form of the verb and it is acting as a noun because this is my subject. This is what I am talking about. I can ask the question, what is good for health? Running is good for health. So, if I give you another example, reading is a wonderful habit. So, what is a wonderful habit? Reading. So, reading is a verb which ends with an ing, but it also acts as a noun. It acts as the subject of that sentence. If I give you another example, sailing is my favorite sport. So what is my favorite sport? Sailing. It is a verb that is ending with an ing. And it also acts as a noun again. If I give you another example, dancing gives immense happiness to one and all. So what gives you happiness? Dancing. It is an ing form of the verb which acts as a noun. So dancing. So what is a gerund? Gerund is a verb which has an ing at the end of it and it will act as the noun of that sentence. Okay? The next type of non-finite verb is an infinitive. Now what are infinitives? Infinitives are those verbs that are preceded by to and they act as adverbs. So they are always preceded by to. So infinitives are always to plus the first form of the verb. These verbs are known as infinitives, which will always have to before them, and they will always be there. They will always be used in their base form, in their original form, and they are used as adverbs. For example, I struggle to understand. So, to plus the first form of the verb understand. So, this is in the infinitive form. And they are acting as an adverb. What do you fail to do? What is the manner? I fail to understand. I struggle to understand. Similarly, they can act as a noun also. If I say, to read is a good habit. Again, to plus first form of the verb, so it is an infinitive, and in this sentence it is used as a noun, it is used as the subject. What is a good habit? To read is a good habit. If I give you another example, I don't have time to read. So, to plus first form of the verb, to read. So, what are infinitives? Infinitives are those non-finite verbs which will always be preceded by to, and again they will never change their form, no matter whether your subject is singular or plural, whether it is in the present or past, they will always remain the same. And the last type of infinitive non-finite verbs are participles. Now, what are participles? Participles are those non-finite verbs that end with either ed or ing, and they function as adjectives. We all know what are adjectives. We have seen it in the chapter where I taught you about adjectives. Those words that tell us the quality of a noun, something that qualifies the noun, is an adjective. For example, the sleeping cat is brown. And if I write this in the past tense, the sleeping cat was brown. So, the tense may be either present or past, but my verb remains the same, which is sleeping. So, the sleeping cat is brown or the sleeping cat was brown. Here, my verb is sleep, which is ending with an ing, and therefore it is a participle. And how is it acting as an adjective? Because it is telling us the quality of my noun. What is my noun? Cat. So this word is telling me about the quality of my noun cat, which is sleeping. If I give you another example, the twinkling stars the twinkling stars look marvelous. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the stars that are twinkling. So, twinkling is my verb, my non-finite verb, participle. which is ending with an ing and is telling us the quality of the stars that they are twinkling. If I talk about the past one with the ed form, the skilled workers were present at the exhibition. Who am I talking about? The workers who were skilled. Skilled means again very capable, very, smart and well versed. Here, my verb skill is ending with an ed. So, this is a participle. It will not change its form even if I write the skilled workers are present at the exhibition or will be present at the exhibition. The workers, the skilled word will remain the same. Similarly, if I give you another example, the wounded boy ran to his mother. Who am I talking about? A boy who is wounded. So the verb wounded, which is ending with an ed, is telling me the quality of the boy, the feature, the characteristic of this boy who ran to his mother. So what did we learn, dear students? We learned that a finite verb is a verb that is used along with a subject. It is changed according to the tense. It is changed according to the number of the subject, that is whether it is singular or plural. It even changes according to the pronouns. On the other hand, non-finite verbs are those that will never change their form. They will never ever change according to the subject or according to the pronoun, and the tense also does not affect them. There are three types of the non-finite verbs. We have gerunds, those verbs which end with an ing and act as a noun in the sentence. Second type of non-finite verbs were infinitives. What are infinitives? To plus the first form of the verb, and infinitives always act as adverbs in the sentence. Then the last type of non-finite verb were participles. Participles can either end with ing or they can end with ed. Again, these words never change their form irrespective of the tense or the singular or the plural of the subject, and participles will always tell you about the quality of the noun, so they act as an adjective. And with this, my dear students, we come to the end of this small and very simple grammar topic, finite and non-finite verbs. I hope that the topic is clear to you. So I will see you all now in my next lecture.